Good evening. I'm still reporting on JPMorgan and the gold to Singapore, the trading room to Singapore story update. I got a lot of feedback on my story concerning JPMorgan head Jamie Dimon moving his gold trading desk to Singapore. That didn't mean that he moved everyone, though. There's still a contingent of traders left in New York City because U.S. gold trading operations are ongoing at COMEX. However, I knew the story was pretty much right, or else I would have gotten a ton of negative flack. But I got no negative feedback at all, only praise and a ton of viewers. In fact, the silence from the usual suspects in the precious metals area spoke volumes. If it were baseless, the Reddit, Wall Street Silver crowd, or Zero Hedge would have shredded the article by now. Instead, whispers turned to nods, and a leaked internal JP Morgan email from November 28, 2025 confirmed the core. Over 50 traders and their ops teams were told to relocate to Singapore by week's end. Servers migrated overnight during Thanksgiving blackout hours. The move wasn't a full retreat from Dimon's Wall Street fortress at 383 Madison Avenue. COMEX futures trading, the lifeblood of U.S. gold pricing, stays put in New York City with a skeleton crew of 20 to 30 handling the daily 200,000 contract volume. But the real action, the physical bullion desk that arbitrages global flows and warehouses billions in vaults, was decamped to Singapore's gleaming Marina Bay Financial Center. JPM's Asia Pacific hub there expanded since 2010 with a 500-ton gold storage facility, now gets the full precious metals war room, proprietary trading algorithms, risk models, and the shadowy metals book, notorious for the $920 million in spoofing fines from 2018 to 2023. Why now? Dimon's no stranger to controversy. He steered JP Morgan through the 2008 meltdown like a battleship, turning lemons into $3.2 trillion asset empire. But this feels like his sharpest pivot yet, blending profit chases with regulatory shadowboxing. First, the gold rush. Asia devours 70% of the gold supply. China's central bank alone added 1,200 tons since 2022. India's wedding season hoarding spikes 20% annually, and Russia's sanction-dodged reroutes funnel through neutral ports. Singapore's tax-free 24/7 liquidity, handling 20% of the world gold trade by 2025, lets JPM capture spreads on Shanghai fixes versus London's LBMA, London Bullion Market Association, without the jet lag. Dimon hinted at this in his October 18th Fortune Summit chat. I'm not a gold buyer. It cost 4% to own, but it could hit $5,000 or $10,000 in this mess. Semi-rational to hold some, close quote. That's code for demand's exploding and we're planting flags where the whales are swimming. Then there's the U.S. heat. JP Morgan's metals team is a CFTC, Commodity Futures Trading Commission, piñata. There was a $100 million SEC probe in October 2025 over unfair practices, plus whistleblowing testimony from a Chicago courtroom alleging that Dimon knew about spoofing to juice profits. What's spoofing? Illegal market manipulation. A trader floods the order book with fake buy or sell orders they never intend to execute, just to trick the market into moving the price in their favor. Once the real traders chase the fake signal and the price jumps or drops, the spoofer cancels the phony orders and profits on their real position. We saw this practice in the early days of Bitcoin trading as well. JP Morgan's metals desk got caught doing this thousands of times between 2008 and 2018. dumping huge fake sell orders to crash gold and silver prices, then buying cheap, juicing profits by the millions while the market got fleeced. They paid a $920 million fine for that. However, Singapore's Monetary Authority, MAS, is a kinder, gentler regulator. No Dodd-Frank style audits, lighter scrutiny on derivatives. It's not fine dodging outright. JPM's paid $34 billion in penalties since 2000, but it's a firewall. As one ex-trader posted anonymously on X, New York City's a microscope. Singapore is a blindfold. In other words, it's harder to get caught in illegalities and easier going if you do get caught. Geopolitics seals the relocation deal, with Trump's tariffs looming, possibly deploying a 100% tariff on Chinese imports by this January. Diamonds hedging dollar wobbles and BRICS gold settlements are up 40%. And Singapore is like the Switzerland of Asia, neutral. The BRICS are adjacent to China without full Chinese entanglement and control. Interestingly, JPMorgan's fourth quarter filing, buried in APAC, Asia Pacific region expansion notes, also commits $10 billion to critical minerals vaults in Singapore as well, meaning diamond is eyeing rare earth materials too. There's just not that much gold in the world to trade. It's Diamond 101, where risk blooms, JPM plants. As far as our story goes, there was a feedback flood. Precious metals forums lit up. The silver bugs theorized gold confiscation prep like 1933, while Kitco analysts called it Asia's COMEX killer. But there were no denials from JPM, just Diamond's CNBC quip on December 4th. Quote, "We're where the demand is," close quote. So, despite some fear among my friends and relatives about the blockbuster initial story, 4851, JP Morgan's entire trading desk fled to Singapore overnight. Here's why, close quote. Although it wasn't the entire trading desk, it was certainly the majority and certainly worth noting for the public. And that sent a shiver down the spines of a whole lot of precious metal holders and dealers. What did the most powerful banker in New York know that we didn't know? Many of those questions have now been answered. Quote, "Good enough for government work," as we former government workers used to quip. But with gold still at a record $4,200 per ounce and silver chasing its 1980 high today at $34 per ounce, extreme volatility could be right around the corner. And now with JP Morgan moving into Singapore in a big, big way and announcing the creation of a massive new underground vault for not only its precious metals collections, but even rare earths. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good evening.